Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This will be part 2 on the 7.4 liters MEFI 3 here from Virginia. Michael, this is your computer. I spoke to him yesterday, actually today, and he approved the repairs. I already finished the repairs on the computer. I still have it open, but we're going to do the test. So for those that have not watched the video, this is a marine engine computer that it didn't have one of the bank of injectors firing, and I was able to reproduce. I'm going to put the link for the part 1 so you can see the testing before repairs. As I normally do, I just go on a little bit of what you can do and test on these ones, and I explain my connections in here briefly, and then we will do a test after the repairs. All right? All right, so that's not what I meant to do. Well, actually, maybe the other camera is not on. All right, so let me open the folder. Well, in there you see the computer is still open. This, I will show you that thing covered and everything as I do in the part 1. Let's go over to the folder so I can show you what the concerns were. This is a customer, a local customer, so I don't have the repair form as I normally do. They didn't fill it out, but this is the computer connected, when I had it here. And this is the part number on this computer is a 16237009, which is good for the 7.4. And this is installed on a Volvo Penta. The calibration here, this sticker shows the calibration on the computer FE28. This is for a MerCruiser, but the calibration that is in the computer was changed, which you can do. You can, replace the calibration because this same part number on the computer works for Volvo Penta or MerCruiser. All the calibration is the important part. So yes, I connected it as you saw in here. Let me just go back. It says inject. Yeah, the problem is injectors. I went ahead and run the computer. This is a capture. I always like to collect data for my records and the customers. I did a video as well. But yes, in the right side, you see 3 different color lines in that graph. The blue one is the oscilloscope connected to injector bank A, which as you see is flat line. The red channel is connected to injector bank B, which is showing a signal. That's exactly what we're looking for. We don't really need to analyze much in there. As long as we have a signal. I did an analysis on the first part where I show, it's being pulled to ground and everything. And we will do that now that is fixed. In the green channel that you see there, the green lines, is connected to the coil firing, which in this computer will fire 8 times per, 1 time per each cylinder, which is 8 times. And that's what we have multiple of those pulling down to ground activation. That's how this is called. And on the left side, I have the scanner, which is a marine scanner, Diacom. This is a Volvo Penta marine engine, so it's for a boat. And yeah, all the values and everything in there were fine. I was finding a little odd that even with injectors not firing, it was set in no code, but that should depend on what calibration was installed in here. And I don't know anything of that, and it doesn't really matter as far as for them and for me. As long as the computer runs and gives all the signals and you can control, and they have no running complaints. It was just this injector driver. So I check everything, 5-volt reference, IAC activation, and everything. Software wise, I cannot change anything. That is something I don't do. I can do calibration, but that is just those are built calibrations. I don't change anything or erase anything. I cannot do any of that. All right, so let's go over to the test. So I have the computer connected in here. I'm going to put the same thing you saw there, so which is the Diacom on it up in the top, and then the picoscope. Let me just move this camera just a little bit so you can see a little more on the back and I can explain you. So this is the computer. I have a relay connected to the computer because this computer controls the fuel pump relay when you turn the ignition on. So I put on the fuel pump relay, and instead of the fuel pump, I put a test light because this relay, the computer control only the control side of the relay, and the relay will take care of providing the power for that fuel pump. So that is the relay. If you don't have power for the fuel pump, but I can see activation, then it may be a blown fuse or wiring or something on the boat that is not for me to control or test, right? So the part that I test is the control that computers do, right? All the in and out. So all the sensors and all the outputs. I have in here an ignition module, which is going to do the same thing as in the vehicle, in the boat. Here I have a load box. This will simulate the injectors and coils, the same as in the boat. It's exactly the same. And these wires you see connected in here are connected to the oscilloscope, which is the bottom image you see there, the blue, red, and green, as I just explained you. The box behind is my simulator, which is the one in charge to provide the sensor signals, cam and crank sensor signals, total position sensor, manifold air pressure, intake air temperature, coolant temperature, etc. Right. So that's what that takes control of. All right. So we're going to power this up. Let me just get the image out of here so I can go into the diagram. All right, I'm going to, right now everything is power off. So I'm going to put the battery power first. You see one light coming on, that's the sensor ground, which is, it should come on with the battery because it's a constant ground. All right, we're going to put the ignition, and we can see already things happening. The fuel pump did the prime, and that is the normal procedure. If you just set up the ignition and you don't start, it does like a 2-second prime to keep, to bring the pressure up to specs because you're about to start the vehicle, right? In here, we now have auto lights, the kind of like orange color that I'm pointing up. That's the 5-volt reference circuit, and that will only light up if we have 5 volts. When the 5 volts are even lower or higher, that light will flash, telling me that there is a problem. And it's not. It's nice and steady. That means the 5 volts are nice and steady, very, very close to 5 volts, like 4.9998 or 5.0001, but that is good. And then the green and red light that you see here is the IAC valve, which is telling me, and I already tested that circuits before the repairs and they were all good, but we will do, overseeing those. And I can probably turn this lamp off so you can see a little better. I'm ready with the cam and crank sensor signal, so let's run this up. All right, right now we can see that we have the blue and the red channel and the green moving. So this is working good. Now we have in here the lights, because the oscilloscope is just seeing and graphing those voltage changes. I have also LED lights in here that will show me if we have activation, and we do. We have 2 channels for the injectors and then the blue one for the coil. I'm going to connect to the Diacom, which I have not. All right, so we have in there, I will select, this is Diacom Rinda, which is a very good diagnostic software, Windows-based software. And we click OK, MEFI 1 to 4. It will detect the module, mode 1, and I select the first one. These are just different menus that will give you different data pits. If you don't know what a data pit is every one of these lines. So we have in here engine RPM, like right here now the computer is running, as you see, with 667 RPMs. And that is exactly what I'm providing, right? Because I'm the one who's providing all those signals. We have, let me just show you a throttle position of 0, pretty much 0.0. You see right now 0.04. So that is, the throttle is closed. So the one is taking care to keep the idle right now should be the IAC, and that's as in the boat. We didn't have any fault codes, not even with the problem happening. So we got 0 trouble codes now, and that has not changed. The calibration on this computer is F9FA, and that didn't change. That is the same. This computer had, if I remember, where are the hours? Oh, right here. 652.53. So everything is accordingly to what we had before, working properly. The hours are reading good, and all the sensor values are reading good. So everything is working as it's supposed to. We have all the signals, and now is happy. Now is fully running. So I'm going to take you over to my screen. I'm going to change the size of those windows so you can see that those are now looking different. And I'm just going to take you over to my view. So this is a better way for us to analyze the data that we have here. So I don't really care too much now about the scanner, but I'm going to keep it in there just to see if anything changes. But I don't expect that to happen, right? So I'm going to pause, because I can do that in the upper section. You see what it says run, and I'm going to pause that capture to see what we have here. So we should have in the blue channel in the upper section battery voltage, and we got 13.4 volts. And on the bottom, when it happens the activation, we should be very close to ground, and we got 0.096. So that is perfectly pulling to ground. We can measure the same thing on the red channel, which is the order bank of injectors. Again, their concerns was into the channel A, which is now fully operational. And I'm going to put the same thing, the two lines in there, just, eyeball closely, because it's not really a perfect science in here. I don't need to really analyze too close, because as long as it's very close to ground, I don't need to go deep, because I can zoom. And this is the nice thing about this software. You can do more. This is not just a graphing multimeter. This is an oscilloscope. It's a really capable tool. All right, but you can see that it is being staying high of the voltage, and it's being pulled to ground. What I'm saying about, zooming in, I can have that zoom glass in here, or zoom tool, and I can now, immediately zoom in into there. So now we can be more accurate, because see, the bottom one is not as accurate as the other one, or as low as the other one, because I just eyeball it. But right now that I'm zooming, I can go in closer and put into where exactly happened. So it's 0.08. So these two signals are pretty much a perfect image of the both drivers pulling properly. We can also measure. I'm going to take those lines out, and we can measure the amount of time that this is being pulled to ground, which that will tell us how long the injector is being open. So it's 2.9 milliseconds. The computer is calling for, I'm not sure if it is, 2.4. So we have 2.4 milliseconds. That's what the computer is calling for. And we got, in reality, 2.918. That is not abnormal. This is real data, the oscilloscope. The computer is processed data. So that data is after the computer computes the information and then gives it to the scanner. So it could be a little bit of a lag, and that's why we have 2.4 milliseconds, but it's pretty close. That is actually working really well. I'm going to make now the oscilloscope run, take these measurements out, and now we can see how everything is working fine. So I'm going to increase the RPMs. We need to make sure that we do a test fully to 4,000. I'm going to go to 4,000. I'm going to increase the throttle. I can put another pit for that, so you can see the throttle position. I'm going to put them in here, and then the manifold air pressure, which are the main players for all this computer to work. So is the temperature, but I'm not going to be changing the temperature, because the temperature is in a steady value, right? So right now I'm in 154 Fahrenheit, so that should be perfect. All right, so I'm going to increase that, increase the throttle. I select the voltage. I want to select the percentage on the throttle, so we can see how much throttle percentage-wise is open, right? So, because I want to, do the two things at the same time without going too far away from each. And I will do the map sensor a lot. So I can be there, and I'm going to just raise the manifold pressure, because that's going to change the injector time. And we have, remember, 2 point something milliseconds before. Now we got 5.4 milliseconds. So yeah, based on RPMs and on the manifold pressure, that injector pulse will change. But we have both injector drivers and everything working 100%. So this is working as it's supposed to, as it's intended. Everything is good to go. So this is just a test for a good customer here in Virginia that I want to show, and to show you what happens when you send a module here for repairs. I will show you that before, testing, reproducing your concern, and then if it's necessary a repair, I will do the repair and then show you the computer fully operational, which you can see all in here. So everything is good to go. All right, guys, this is just a short video. Thank you so much for visiting My Salazar Diagnostics. Don't forget to subscribe. That really helped my small business a lot. Every time you do so, YouTube promotes more and more my videos, and that's how you find me. I'm a small business, so this will really mean a lot to me. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.